Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop today. Today we'll be talking about how I have my audio set up and video set up for moto vlogging. It is a little chilly. I do not have a fancy audio setup for the vlogging stuff. This is a total entry level, and I'm gonna make a video on exactly how I have the helmet set up and stuff. But it's just a purple Panda microphone. I think they're like 30 bucks on Amazon. The filming that you're seeing right probably at this second is done with a GoPro Hero 10. Just shot in 4K, and I did have to buy a adapter from the GoPro to the purple Panda microphone. I think that was like 50. That was more than the mic itself. That was like 50 bucks. So the whole audio setup, just in the mic and the adapter and all that stuff, was only like maybe $80. So I have had several people ask me about the audio setup when I'm riding, the vlogging setup, if you will. And keep in mind, this is just what I had to work with. There are much better ways to do this. They make kits and everything. This is more so something I cobbled together, but it does seem to be somewhat effective. So this is the GoPro Hero 10. The microphone is the Purple Panda lavalier lapel style microphone, and it's like 33 bucks on Amazon. I'll leave a link to all that stuff in the description. The other thing I had to have was the GoPro, the Purple Panda microphone, and a 3.5 millimeter mic adapter from GoPro. And I will go over all of that stuff in detail. That's this piece right here, and kind of show you how I have it set up. Now, the difficult part for me was that this helmet is a modular helmet. So the face lifts up. So I had to have a way to connect the audio and run the wires, but still be able to lift it up without having wires hanging down everywhere. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but it works out pretty good. So really all of the wiring is contained up here. Pretty straightforward. So let me show you how we have this set up. So first things first is have a little audio box. Before I had anything, I had these little foam pieces, and I believe they're called wind slayers. They're real cheap. You can get like a pair of them for like 5 bucks on Amazon. And these just slip right over the front of your GoPro, and they do a pretty good job of blocking out wind noise, because that was my problem, is that with a camera right on the front, you were just getting a tremendous amount of wind noise. So then I figured I had to do a standalone mic, which is what we have. And that standalone mic is the Purple Panda mic. It comes in a bag just like this. So let's look and see how I got this mounted onto the helmet. So just want to talk about a couple challenges that I had, because I didn't buy any fancy special equipment or anything like that. This is a modular helmet, like I did mention, and the front of this is actually not flat. It actually moves up and down. That's my mouth vent. So I actually have the GoPro mounted directly to the mouth vent. And how I mounted that was I just took one of these standard GoPro fittings. This is like a cheap universal one. And to the front of that mouth guard, I actually took a heat gun and got it hot and bent it a little bit to contour to the front of that. And then once it was the shape that I needed it to be, I used the 3M adhesive tape, stuck it right to the front of the chin guard, or the breather vent, and it moves up and down. And that is how I have this arm here secured to the front. And I've been riding like that for a few months now with zero issues. So this is essentially the setup. You got your piece in the front, and then I have this other little hook here that kind of goes out in the front, clips right up through the bottom in there like that. Hook the GoPro in it and tighten it all down right here with the mounts that come standard on the GoPro. Now the Purple Panda microphone, like I said, this was like 30 or 35 bucks. I'll put a link in the description. I just believe I got that on Amazon. It did come with more than enough cable. It came with a cable like this. It came with a couple of those little lapel clips for clipping to your shirt or whatever you clip it to. It came with this other adapter. Not really sure what that's for. But it did not, this is a GoPro Hero 10. It did not fit that. So I had to buy that 3.5 millimeter microphone adapter from GoPro. Okay, so this thing was kind of a pain in the ass to do, but lots of, learning experience and challenges. So I had to take this door off of the side of the GoPro here. And once the door's open, you can hook your microphone adapter in because it's on the same port, but then your battery can fall out. So I had this rubber case and I would put it on, but then the battery was loose in there and it would come disconnected. So I had to do something kind of screwy to make it work. Let me show you. There's kind of a shot of what it looks like. Down into the front there. And this is electrical tape. So I did take the extra wiring I had, looped it around several times, and then just electrical taped it. I know it's kind of janky, but it does work. I mean, this thing came with like 6 or 8 feet of wiring or something like that, and I didn't need all of that extra shit. I just use these clips to mount right to the front there. So whenever this door is off here, you unhinge it, pop it up, that's where your audio port is. But for me, I have this gap in here, so the battery could come in and out like that. So that didn't work. So I had this rubber cover that came with it, and all I did was put it in. So I have it in this rubber cover, but the battery's loose in there. So that battery just popped out. So what I did was, this is kind of the janky part. I just took a little shop towel, stuffed it in there with it, and it holds the battery in place. So now the battery can no longer move around. And nobody can see it from the outside, but the battery can't wiggle out anymore. So now the battery's in there secure. And I just cut this hole out here for that mic adapter. So now that mic adapter fits right inside like that. So now my battery's secure. My mic adapter, I have access to that through my little hole that I cut. I could flip these down, mount it to the front. Now, there were some other challenges. This is like a rubber, this mic adapter is like a rubberized texture. So I put some 3D tape on this, try to tape it straight to the helmet. Nope, that wouldn't work, it kept falling off. So this piece right here, actually, had a friend of mine 3D print that, as you can see there. So I 3D printed this, stuck it right to the helmet, slid the adapter inside, and it's been holding up fantastic ever since. That's kind of what that looks like. And then the mic adapter just goes right there to where the GoPro is, and it hooks right into it. The actual wiring, that was kind of a pain just because of the modular side of it. So I drilled a hole right here near the bottom of that that chin piece. I drilled a hole that way I could snap that mic adapter in there. This camera angle is probably not the best, but hopefully you guys will get the idea. But I drilled a hole right through there so I could run right up to my mic, and then the other end comes and snaps right into the GoPro fitting, and then straight to the GoPro. So that's kind of what it looks like, but that allows you to open it and close it and not have your wires back here pulling over to the other side. Pretty cheap, pretty generic. So let's see how I got the mic in there. So it did come with this dead cat, and I just slipped it right up top of the microphone, and I just took a piece of 3M tape and just taped it right to the front up here in the corner, and it does clear the visor, and it doesn't like rub your lips or anything like that. And that's where the microphone is mounted inside of the helmet. Just kind of look at it from underneath there. And the mic is right there in the front. I don't know if this is the correct way to do it. This is just the way that I did it. So when I'm setting it up to ride, I just get my battery and everything all charged up. Make sure I got my little shop towel in there. I know it's janky. In the words of Bicycle Garage, if it works, is it really a dumb idea? All right, and then when I want to start filming, I just power it on. And now I can see my screen. And when it's inside of the helmet, I can see the red dot that tells me if I'm recording or not. So that is helpful. What you're hearing is the audio actually inside of the helmet right now with the Purple Panda microphone. I'm sure it sounds like I'm breathing really heavy. I'm actually not. This thing picks up the sound really well, I think, for something that only costs 30 bucks. This is kind of what the setup looks like when it's on. Like I said, they have professional kits. They have all kinds of other stuff you can buy. I was just trying to do it on the cheap, so for about, I don't know, 80 bucks roughly, that's after tax and everything. This is kind of what the whole setup costs, and this is what the outcome is. And you can lift it up and still have all of your audio and everything without disconnecting wires. I was afraid would have all these wires hanging and stuff. So if you have a helmet that's not modular, should not have a lot of these problems, but same setup might work for you. Yeah, this is the audio inside of the helmet. Luke, I am your father. Yeah, so it works pretty good, pretty inexpensive, and not that difficult to do. All right, everybody, so that is my moto vlogging setup, how I have it set up on the cheap. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. A lot of people ask me about that, like, hey, you know, what's your camera setup like? What's your audio setup like? It's nothing crazy, nothing fancy. We're not moto vlogging. Got the Icon Air Flight. That is it. I do get a lot of questions on the audio setup, like, hey, what kind of microphone do you have? How do you have the camera mounted, etc.? And that's 100% it. Pretty inexpensive way to do it. As always, if anybody has any questions about any of that, you can always hit me up at scottlink_L5P on Instagram. And yeah, as always, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Until next time, thank you. Take care. How did I actually mount the GoPro? Yeah, I don't like that. So it did come with this dead cat, which is just this little, I think it's because it looks like a dead cat. Meow, 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 meow. Playing a microphone, don't like that. It's like on the Moto vlog,